Ah, it smells like heaven. Don't you guys want to know how to make this delicious cinnamon applesauce for the holidays, the fall time? It's getting cold and everyone wants to smell cinnamon and apples in the air. Come on down, we're going to make this recipe. Let's go! Alright everyone, here are the ingredients that you will need for this delicious, most amazing, best, fabulous applesauce recipe. Homemade! I'm telling you, you're gonna impress frickin' anyone you make this for. Here we have the 12 apples you're going to need. These are medium-sized apples and they are Fuji brand. You can use whatever kind of apples that you'd like. I'd recommend the red apples because they're a little bit sweeter than the green apples, but if you want a really sour applesauce, then you can use the Granny Smith by all means. Next ingredient we have is lemon. 1 lemon. Next, the water. Whatever water you want. You can even use tap water. It doesn't matter. Next we have sugar. We have organic sugar, but you can use regular sugar as long as it's white sugar. I'm sure you could use brown sugar, but it's going to be a little bit more caramely of a taste. Next ingredient we have cinnamon. A delicious, delicious warm spice for fall. Ah, I can already smell it in the air, guys. On to the next is honey. I love putting honey as a sweetener in a lot of different recipes, so it's a great one. Next ingredient is the vanilla extract. You can use regular vanilla extract. This is just our particular favorite kind ever. Nielsen Massey Madagascar Bourbon Pure Vanilla Extract. You can get this on Amazon for around 20 bucks for 4 ounces, and it lasts a long time, so it's definitely worth the purchase because the flavor is magnified probably times 20 compared to regular vanilla extract, but regular will do as well. And next, we're going to go over to the tools to see what you need for this specific recipe. Here is the display of all the tools that we will be using today in the recipe. Now, don't be afraid when you see this big red thing, the apple core peeler slicer. If you don't have one of these, don't even worry about it. You can use a paring knife. You can use a different way of cutting the apples. You don't have to have one of these, but these actually save you so much time. We got this at Cost Plus World Market for only $9.99. Can you believe? Never thought we'd use it. You know what? Use it all the frickin' time. The next is at least a medium-sized pot that you're going to be using to boil and cook the apples. Next thing you need is 3 different size cups. So here you have a cup, a half a cup, a quarter cup. Here for the spoons we have a half a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. And also a nice sharp knife that's going to cut up those apples for you even more. And the last but not least, I love this thing, the KitchenAid Emulsion Blender. Emulsion, you can call it different ways. And it's basically a handheld blender. You just turn this little knob on and it's going to blend stuff like a blender. If you don't have one of these, you can perfectly use a blender, no problem. Just make sure the applesauce is completely cool before putting it in a blender, or you'll have a huge hot explosion all over your freaking counter. And you won't be very happy about it, and all your apples and beautiful work will be all over your floor, and you'll have ants because your floor will be sticky. We know you guys wanted to know how this freaking machine worked. Alright, here we go. We have 1 of the 12 apples. We're going to take this sharp end right here that's got 3 points. They're going to take this spiky end, pull it all the way back. And then we're going to put the butt of the apple right here by its beehole. And we're going to shove it on here. There we go. Then we're going to lift this lever, push it all the way to the end here. And then we're going to start turning. 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 There we go. I was turning the wrong way. Alright, just taking this peel right off, baby. Women back in the early 1900s would be so happy to have this when they were making their husband Jebediah all those pies on the farm. We're going to pull this baby off right here. As you can see, it's like a frickin' accordion. Let's see if we can get it to pull apart. There we go. Now you guys can see all the layers. Pretty much you just have a tiny bit on the end you chop off. tiny bit on the other end to chop off, and you're basically good to go. Slice it in half, and that mother is done. Then you just pull this whole core off, and it cored the whole baby here. Isn't that frickin' amazing? Doesn't it make you guys want to go to the Cost Plus World Market and spend $9.99 on this frickin' item here? It's amazing. It's well worth it. And voila! Here we have our cut up apples. Now, to be fair, it actually doesn't matter. They don't have to be thinly sliced like this, like you're going to make pie. It's just because we have the slicer, that's how they cut anyways. If you're going to use a paring knife, when you cut them, you can chop them into quarters. If you're going to put it in the blender, that's going to work out fine. If you're going to use an immersion blender, it's probably best to use a thinner slice so it doesn't have as big piece of a meaty apple to break up. But in the blender, no problema. And a pro little tip to keep your apples not turning brown while you're trying to do other things. You might not be able to get right to the apples right this moment. So the reason we have a lemon in the recipe is to actually squeeze on a half a teaspoon of lemon onto the apples, which about one little wedge here is about a half a teaspoon. And then we're going to be able to mix these up so all the lemon is touching all the apples here. And it's going to help them from browning. If you leave these out and open, these apples will oxidize very quickly. But if you need 20 minutes so you can cover them up, put a little bit of lemon juice on top, and that will help your apples from browning. Our next ingredient we're going to measure out is our 2.5 cups of water. There we go. We got 2.5 cups of water there. And now, onto our sugar, we have 3/4 cups of white sugar. Next, we have our 1 tablespoon of honey. I'm going to measure that out right now. Now, I love this Trader Joe's brand of honey. With clover in it, it's absolutely delicious. Yum, yum, yum. If you haven't tried it, I suggest you go pick up a bottle from Trader Joe's. It's only like maybe under $4. It's pretty delicious. It actually tastes like McDonald's chicken nuggets honey. Anyways, there's a little bear on it like myself. Rawr. We are going to be putting in today 2 teaspoons of this deliciousness. Alright, let's measure them out. 1 and 2, baby. There we go. If you guys had smell-o-vision, you could smell this delicious bottle. Our next ingredient, one of the most delicious part of the whole recipe, is the cinnamon. Nothing smells more like fall than cinnamon. Let's put the amount we're going to put in. We're going to put in 1.5 teaspoons. So here's the half a teaspoon. Get that other 1 teaspoon. And oh man, the kitchen is smelling amazing already. It smells like fall. I'll tell you that right now. The whole freaking kitchen smells like fall. So first thing we're going to do is get this medium to large size pot, and we're going to put it on a medium heat. So we're going to light this mother. We're going to pour in here the water. The next thing I'm going to put in is the sugar. Alright, pour that baby in. Now, if you can't eat a lot of sugar because you're a diabetic or you're pre-diabetic or you're just watching your sugar in general, you can also use a sugar alternate such as Splenda or stevia. Next, I'm going to put in the cinnamon. You're going to be smelling that and you're going to be like, oh my bears, this smells freaking delicious. You're going to want to stir this around for a couple minutes just to dissolve the sugar a little bit, but not quite bring it to a boil yet. After a couple minutes has passed by, you're going to want to put the apples into your pot. Okay, we're going to stir this up a bit. Get the apples nice and coated in the pot. Now remember, the lemon was already squeezed on top of the apples to help them from browning too much. Next, I'm going to put in my vanilla extract. Oh yeah. Oh my god, guys, I was trying, you guys are gonna laugh. I was trying to pour this in and I didn't realize the cellophane was like on it, and I was looking through the camera and I'm like, why won't this mother pour? And I realized, yeah, okay, now we're gonna actually pour in the vanilla extract. I guess you have a case of the Mondays. Case of the Mondays. You guys know what movie that's from? If you do, write it down below in the comments. It's one of my favorite movies. Love that movie. Yeah. Okay. Even though I'm here cooking alone, I feel like all of you guys are here with me in this kitchen and we're just shooting the shit, mixing apples, talking about movies from the 80s and 90s, and just been like, yep, those were the good old days, baby. Those were the good old days. Last but not least ingredient is the thick, gooey, delicious honey. All right, everyone wants a little honey drizzle in their life once in a blue moon. Well, not in your bed because that would make your sheets kind of messy, but anyways, that's besides the point. Bring this water up to barely a boil, and then we will cover it and put it on a medium heat and let these apples cook down. Now, usually it's going to take about at least 20 minutes from the point of covering it. It's going to take 20 minutes. If your apples are still hard at the 20-minute point and not soft where you can kind of mush them down with a fork, cook them for at least about another 5 to 7 minutes to cook them down more. It has been 20 minutes and this delicious applesauce has been cooking. Oh, if you guys only knew how delicious it smelled in this house, you would be coming right on over to Butters and Bear's house. Woo, you see a little steam action? Ooh, getting steamy up in here. As you can see, all the apples are cooked down, so if you press down on them, it would just fall apart right away. Right in half, no problem. That's when you know the apples are done. You don't want to drain that liquid at all. So what we're going to do is put this in a separate bowl and let it cool until it's at least room temperature. Or you could potentially burn yourself with first, second, or third degree burns. Ain't nobody got time for that. We finally have the apples at room temperature. So this was resting about a good hour and a half. So an hour and a half it took to cool down properly for me to be able to use the emulsion blender. So you can decide how thick or how thin you want your applesauce. If you want it super chunky, don't blend it that much. If you want it more thin, which I like it a little more smooth, like you would get it in at the store, that type of smooth applesauce, you want to blend it a little more. So now that the applesauce is ready, you're going to want to get a container or jar to put the applesauce in. This holds, up to this line, is 2 cups. It's definitely going to be more than that. And I'm going to funnel it in and see how much applesauce this recipe actually yields. So the total is 6 cups it actually yields. There's 2 cups here, 2 cups here, or a little bit more, and there is almost 2 cups in there. Look how delicious. You can give these as a gift to your friends or family, or your Aunt Edna coming for Thanksgiving this year, or maybe even Christmas. Uncle Leonard might want a can for himself. We're going to get some sleep, and we'll meet you guys back here in the morning for the taste test to see the grand finale. And here's a little close-up so you guys can see in the jar. Don't you guys just want to jump in this pool of applesauce with me? Oh, yeah. I cannot wait to try this frickin' applesauce.
Bears?
What?
What
Are you filming?
Yes.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready yet, Butters.
Did you say Aunt Butters?
I didn't say Aunt
That's
Butters.
what you said. Aunt Butters.
I said Butters. Alright, we'll call you Aunt Butters the rest of this freaking episode.
Well, guess what? It's Aunt Butters.
Alright, well, top of the morning, and we're gonna film now, I guess. So, this applesauce is set overnight in the fridge, and it's super cold, and it's all frosty and yummy. It's the best way to eat it. And I haven't even tried one bite yet because I waited for it cold. I just wait for the perfect time to eat the food. I'm not going to be impatient and eat it early. So here I am. I'm going to try the first bite. Smell it, you guys. Smells like cinnamon. It's all ready to go. All right, first bite. I got my bear spoon ready. I am ready to go. Here we go. Oh, I feel like I'm like a bear getting to a jar of honey right now. Okay. Oh, mama. Or actually, oh, Aunt Butters. This smells and tastes so good. I'm going to give you a little bite. Hold on, Butters. I'm going to give you guys a bite first. Oh. And then Butters a bite. You guys could share a bite.
Oh, that is really good.
This is better than any grocery store brand you'll ever buy. If you ever make homemade applesauce, you will never once again buy any other applesauce in your life from the grocery store because this takes it up a notch. Like Emerald Lagasse said, take it up a notch. Bam! Remember him from the 90s? He was one of my favorite chefs. Anyways, I actually want another bite because it's so good. Oh my god. It tastes like the juice of the gods, if you guys know what I'm talking about. We hope you guys make this recipe. It's super delicious. Thank you so much for joining me.
Cinnamon.
Oh, and butters. Anyways, guys.
Sounds incestuous.
Well, back in the day, that was very common. Thank God we are not from the same DNA line. I'm a Viking, and you are, hold on, you are from the great Charlemagne. You guys can guess what culture that is. Anyways, we love you guys to the where?
To the mother effing moon.
That's right, the mother effing moon. And thank you guys so much for joining us. And mwah, 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 mwah to all of you and to Butters. To Aunt Butters. Mwah. Bye.
Aunt Butters.